WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. AdPro Sports. AdPro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Let's go! Come on! Let's go! Come on! Come on! Let's go! Need it, John! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Come on!
A good Thursday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to Buffalo, New York, Riverside High School and Charlie Ding Boom Field for the final week of Thursday night high school football here on WNY Athletics. It's the Williamsville East Flames at 5-2 overall, taking on the 6-1 McKinley Max in our Week 8 matchup. Glad to be with you here for Week 8, the final regular season edition. I'm joined by the legendary head coach Mike Fata. On the sidelines, now in the press box. Coach, glad to be back for Week 8.
Magic number.
Glad to be back for Week 8, Coach.
Certainly. The season flew, and the weather has changed, and the stakes are a lot higher, as we have Williamsville East can go anywhere from being the winners of their division tonight to being out of the playoffs, and McKinley looking to continue their dominance in their division and cap off with a win that will win the division for them.
So for some playoff scenarios, we've got Francis Beck, who broke it all down for us. Basically, if Williamsville East wins this game by 19 or more points, they win the division. If they don't, they're out of the playoffs. So a big game here for Williamsville East, and they come off a win against Hutch Tech that they had last week, 26-13 at home in a non-league matchup over the Engineers, where their new quarterback got some good reps after a good week of practice.
Yeah, it's a lot different with a week of practice behind him, and we're going to his second week now, so this should be a better performance for him as well. And with everything on the line, I don't think he has to hold back.
For the McKinley Macs, they were undefeated until last week when they headed to Hamburg, New York. They took on the Bulldogs in what most thought would be a swift victory for the Macs. It ended up being a game filled with 10 turnovers total and 15 penalties. It was a wild contest from Hamburg that saw the Macs drop their first game on the season, 22-14 to Hamburg. That sets us up for a wild game here in Week 8. If McKinley wins the game, they take home the 8-2 division and a 1-3 seed in the Class A bracket of the sectional playoffs. We're underway from Charlie Ding Boom Field on a 44-degree and rainy night from Buffalo. Here's the returner in Reed Siaka. He does not make it to the 10.
And Siaka was lucky that didn't further ricochet off his shin, because that could have been dangerous with a different angle. I think McKinley might end up with the ball there, but nevertheless, it's bad field position. Not a great start for Williamsville East as they start deep in their own territory.
Well, last week, Calvin Kulik stepped in as the full-time starter for the Williamsville East Flames, replacing the senior Sean Sansone, who was at the time a Connolly Cup contender. He had thrown 19 touchdowns before going down with an injury in the Week 6 loss to West Seneca West. That was the second of 2 losses in a row for Williamsville East after starting this season 5-0. The first play of the game from scrimmage, Williamsville East goes to Charles Smith, the junior running back, who replaced the starter Thomas Orsini last week. Charles Smith, 19 attempts so far this year, most of those last week against Hutch Tech. He's got 750 yards so far.
A long way to go here. They got 90 yards to go. So I think Williamsville East looking to start the game off at least with some couple first downs and get those chains moving to start off on the right foot.
2nd down and 8 coming up here for Williamsville East after the 2-yard run from Smith. It's a throw to the middle of the field, and Dorian Faison Jr. bowls over a man, and he's down at the 20.
Faison will be close here. Tell you what, Kulik stepped into that throw, and he looks accurate, looks strong, and looks confident.
Just a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 after a pickup of 7 for Dorian, who was having himself quite a season with Sean Sansone. 11 touchdowns, just a hair under 600 yards through the air for Dorian. 3rd down and 1 at their own 20. Kulik takes the snap in the gun. Over the middle, it's caught. Hanging onto the ball and breaking free. Past the 35, the Flames pick up the first down with Deuce Jemison.
2 plays in a row there. Kulik hitting that hook curl area in their zone of McKinley. He found success with 2 different receivers, and I'm sure for the start he wanted. He had 2 confident throws, 2 strikes to 2 different receivers, and they're on the move here.
A 17-yard pickup on 3rd and 1 down at the 37-yard line. The Flames looking to drive from their own 10, 90 yards down the field. Spreading out the offense is what you'll see the Flames do a lot today. They hand it off to Charles Smith. He lost the football. McKinley jumps on it, and they take over in offensive territory.
Yeah, Charles Smith never fully had that ball. I think you'll see here on the replay that Moshe came across a little opening there, but a strip. 55 from 56 for McKinley. Rayshawn Ridley. Big play for Ridley and the Macs. as they take over on the 30 going in.
It's his third forced fumble on the season. The Macs take over offensively at the 31. A huge change of tides after Will East seemed to put together a good start to a drive in their own territory. Now the Macs have an opportunity at the game's first score. A handoff to Nico Lewis, who finds a hole on the left side, past the 25.
And Nico Lewis finding some room there on first down. Back to the Williamsville East drive, Jack. I think they can have some confidence going in there. I know there's a fumble. It's not the way they wanted to start it, but they moved the ball pretty effectively there, and I think they're going to have some success offensively.
Nigel McDuffie with the end around. A flag thrown at the 20. McDuffie gets past the 10 to the 5.
They have a perimeter hold here, it looks like. That will come back.
Paul Gagliardi, the head ref of today's crew. The umpire, Craig Donnelly. Linesman, Edwin Streety. Line judge, Dave Sobus. And Kevin Ryan, the back judge for today's crew. The crew you seem to know quite well, Coach, going back.
Got the A crew tonight.
They've got plenty of reps under their belt for this one here with playoff implications from Charlie Ding Boom Field. The hold brings it back for 2nd and 8. A handoff again goes for nothing. Lewis again.
Coming off the end there was Dorian Faison with a leaping tackle. He closed quickly. So Faison, an impressive athlete. He's not only a wide receiver out there. He can move and be an athlete on the perimeter. He's also a defensive end for them.
The senior captain has been a Connolly Cup name in the conversation so far this year for his play on both sides of the ball. Here's a play breaking free for Kevin Borden on the far side as he picks up the first down.
Kevin Borden, a big body there. He's 6 feet tall. He's got some feet on him, too, for a guy that big, and he's going to be tough to bring down once he gets the ball.
A 12-yard gain for the first passing play from Azaria Adunye after he went down last week in the game against Hamburg. Adunye pops right back up, and he's got himself his first completion to Kevin Borden. This time, the lead back, Tyrone Hughes, bounces up the middle. Good gain on first down for the sophomore.
Yeah, the Macs pulling around the end there with Carl Jones and Dylan Applewhite. And Carl Jones leading the way there, pulling to the right side.
6-yard gain on first down. They go right back to Hughes. He's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Charles Smith was there from the linebacker spot.
McKinley to the line quickly here.
3rd down and 1 inside the 10-yard line. The snap dropped, scooped back up by Adunye. He can do something with his athleticism, though not with that amount of flames around him.
Progress stop, Jack. They never took him down.
Here you see he ran into Reed Siaka and Charles Smith.
Jason Zhao in there as well.
Jason Zhao, the junior linebacker, 62 tackles entering tonight's game. He's been a leader at the middle linebacker position of a 4-4 defensive formation for Will East. And it looks like the McKinley Macs will go for it here on 4th and 8 after a loss of 7 on that previous play. The snap to Adunye, looking end zone, throws to the right side, up and over Kevin Borden, incomplete.
Yeah, Borden is tall. He's not that tall, though. I know Adunye probably threw it where he thought only Borden can get it, but still a little high for the big receiver, and Flames dodged a bullet there.
So Will East, who started to put together a good drive on their first time out, resulted in the fumble, and they escape with no points against. Even though they gave the ball up in their own offensive territory, McKinley not able to convert. Will East will go back to work offensively with their new quarterback, Calvin Kulik. A run on the left side of the line. A good gain on first down for the lead back, Tom Orsini, who gets his first rep offensively.
It's good to see Orsini out there. He went down last week, and we weren't sure if he was going to play today. It was nice seeing him warm up, and he didn't get the start, but he's their number one guy back there. It's good to see him get some touches.
Picks up 6 yards on first down, 2nd and 4 at the 19. We'll move it up to the 20 for the Williamsville East Flames. A must-win game to keep their playoff hopes alive. They go right back to Orsini. He's got the first down and takes Kevin Borden with him to the 28.
Williamsville East on the move here once again. As you see Orsini finish. I can see them sticking to that, spreading them out, and you see McKinley with 2 deep safeties. There are some running lanes there. They're honoring the width of that offense. They're walking out their receivers. You can see that there's still a respect for their pass game.
Trips to the right. Throwing this way is Kulik. A one-handed grab from Dorian Faison, but he's wrapped up right there and taken down to the ground as he was met from McKinley's Marshawn Felder.
Faison a little slow to get his head around, but he made the play on the ball, and that could have been disastrous for them, but instead
him to the ground. Another look at that last pass. Kulik, calm, cool, delivers. Nigel ready to the task. A pickup of 3. 2nd down, 7 to go. A handoff for Orsini. Past the 35, the ball's out again. They say Orsini was down by contact.
Yeah, the Flames running backs have to keep on squeezing that football. That's the 2nd time the ball's on the ground. You can tell this offense, though, Jack, is balanced. They've had success running it, passing it. If they can maintain that balance and just execute, it seems like they'll be able to move the ball tonight.
It was more so pass heavy when Sean Sansone was the quarterback for Williamsville East. He'd thrown the ball 130 times, completed on 70 of the attempts, had over 1,100 yards through the air. Sansone, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in Will East history. He's sidelined with a season-ending injury, ending his senior campaign. Though the junior Tom Orsini bounces back after an injury against West Seneca West 2 weeks ago, and he's got another first down here today.
Well, they're running into really a 4-2 box there. They're 6-man box, but they have something on that trip side of the run formation because they keep going back to that.
Just over 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Still looking for our first score between Will East and McKinley, both out of Class A2. Both teams who started the season undefeated until week 6. Rolling right. Kulik stays up, gets a few yards, stays in bounds, and now is down past the 50. Shamonte Griffin makes the play defensively.
Kulik making something out of nothing there. He had everyone covered downfield, so he didn't really have a lot of options. He was kind of running for his life there, but he made something out of it and brings up a 2nd and 3. Now you wonder, Jack, with them having to win by 19 to make the playoffs, you wonder if that changes the philosophy offensively, knowing you have to score at least 3 touchdowns. You have to, and that's if you keep McKinley blanked, which you know you're not going to do, right? So you wonder if that changes the attack mode of the play calls.
On a game like tonight, 44 degrees, 30% chance of rain. We've seen wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour so far in Buffalo. It doesn't help the passing attack of McKinley, though they've made plays so far and are currently marching down the field after Orsini picks up another first down.
Yeah, East looks impressive so far. They're executing, and they're just dwindling down this first quarter already.
For Willie's playoff chances, you mentioned them needing to win by 19. They've got to be thanking their lucky stars McKinley didn't score on the opportunity that was granted to them, as Siaka catches one over the middle past the 40, taken down for another good gain on first down.
Again, there's that balance we're talking about, just taking what they're giving them, and that McKinley defense staying back in that cover 2, and those hitches are open and available.
We enter the final minute of play in the first quarter. Will East already over 75 yards of offense. No points to show for it, however, though they're looking to capitalize on this drive after stopping McKinley on downs deep in their own red zone. 2 receivers to each side on 2nd and 4. In motion is Siaka. Handoff Orsini, but a flag before the snap. Movement from Will East. It was penalties that hurt McKinley last week at Hamburg. 6 penalties for 67 yards. That coupled with 5 turnovers, Coach, you're not going to win many football games with those stats.
Oh, absolutely not. And then the injuries on top of it. You know, they did have a bad week in all respects because they came out of there injured as well, although not as bad as we thought, because we did get Adunye with the start today. We were concerned he wasn't going to be in.
Adunye is currently at the top of your screen at cornerback, so a two-way player. McKinley's able to get 2 players back almost for the price of 1. A flag with 1 second on the clock remaining in the quarter is thrown from the back judge. They'll have a chat with Mike Torillo, the head coach of Williamsville East. With the clock stopped, the Flames will have to run one more play here, though from a lot less of a better position. It's 2nd down and way long here, 2nd and 13.
Was it a delay, Jack? I didn't see the call.
It seemed like a delay call, though. The head official didn't show anything. It was the back judge that.
It's a tough call with 1 second left in the quarter.
Yeah. It's going to change the chat in between quarters.
Guys are holding them accountable out there tonight.
Everyone's on their A game. You mentioned the A crew. And now another flag. This first quarter might never end.
They're getting some back. Well,
false start again on Will East. Talk about a home field advantage.
Oh, Williams Lease doesn't like that call as the McKinley defensive line came across the ball. But
well, the Flames of Williamsville East are missing 1 senior starter at right guard. Aiden Murphy goes out with an injury. He's replaced by Edward Dykes, the senior as well. Plenty of depth on the offensive line for Mike Torillo's Flames, something that is a bit new to the Williamsville East Flames football program. Coach said if you didn't have the speed or ability to play wide receiver, he's putting everyone at the offensive line so he doesn't have to forfeit any games without linemen. This pass complete to Connor Dryhevsky, though barely so, and he's taken down after a minimal pickup on 2nd down. We will pick up with you in the second quarter after we toss it down to Francis Beck on the sideline. Francis, the 3rd member of our crew, what do you got?
Hey, Jack, Mike, you know, we see Williamsville East is on this drive here. They're kind of moving the ball, though you saw those last couple penalties. One player they're missing right now is quarterback Sean Sansone. He suffered a grade 2 shoulder surgery a couple weeks ago against West Seneca West. Put him out for the season. That's why Kellen Kulik is in. But Sansone, nevertheless, has had a great career here at Williamsville East. Mike Torillo said one of the best quarterbacks he's ever had in his 35 years of coaching football here in Section 6. In 18 starts, he has nearly 3,600 yards and 50 touchdown passes. He's put on an incredible effort at Will East, and I know the Flames are hoping that he can translate that, that leave some of that legacy behind for whoever takes over next year. Jack, Mike, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Francis. So a good insight on Sean Sansone, sidelined due to injury a couple weeks ago. Kulik didn't have the best impression in his first week as he came in with 0 reps at quarterback. He was a wide receiver until Sansone went down. And in that game against West Seneca West, Kulik comes in, he throws an interception, he loses a fumble in his own red zone. Not a great start, though last week, with a full week of practice, Kulik showed a good game against Touch Tech. 3 touchdowns in the first half and a big win.
Well, McKinley changing their look here defensively. They're playing man now. And
Deep shot for Deuce Jemison falls incomplete.
maybe the down and distance dictated that, but that was a 3rd and 15, 16 yards, and I think Williamsville East did the best they could and take a shot. But they'll be punting.
4th down and 17 from their own side of the 50 at the 49. They send out the special teams man, kicker, punter, Brandon Schill, who is also the backup quarterback in case anything happens to Calvin Kulik. He'll be the man to slide in under center. A high punt with good hang time will take a Williamsville East roll and bounce all the way to around the 10-yard line. McKinley, their worst field position on the day, will start inside their own territory. A turnover on downs and a punt for the Williamsville East Flames. I'm sorry, a fumble and a punt for the Will East Flames to start their 2 drives. A turnover on downs is what ended McKinley's last as we enter the second quarter of play. Still no score from Charlie Ding Boom Field. 11:54 to go till the halftime break.
Those penalties at the end of the first quarter really buried Williamsville East as they took 3 in a row. And I think Coach Torello during the entirety of that first intermission break there was arguing about maybe at least 1 or 2 of those calls, as the toughest one being the delay of game with 1 second left.
No running back for McKinley to start this drive. Adunye with space. He's got to beat Siaka. He does momentarily and then gets swallowed up by a host of Will East Flames right around the 15.
Yeah, Siaka might not have brought him down, but he made a great play hanging with him until his buddies got there. And Adunye is tough to bring down the open field. We've seen previously in the year here. Not an easy job, but Siaka stayed home and at least slowed him down.
Adunye on the season has 1 touchdown rushing, though just 2 yards under 200 yards on the ground, just 10 attempts. So when he breaks free, he's looking to go big. So is this kid, Nico Lewis, up the middle, a flag down at the 25. Lewis gets taken down by Charles Smith at the 20, though this one looks to be coming back. The explosiveness from Nico Lewis that we've seen so far this season nearly was a big play for the Macs.
All the way back. Looks like it's going to be a hold.
Good diving effort from Charles Smith. He doesn't called back. He still puts on a good effort.
Again, McKinley run game there, getting numbers at the point of attack. They had a couple guys pulling around there to the left side, but one of them must have grabbed a handful because it's coming all the way back.
A majority senior offensive line for the Macs. One of the reasons for their 6-1 record on the year. From right to left, it's Rayshawn Riley, Jaden Sanders, Jamil Shelton, all seniors. The left guard, the lone junior starter, Carl Jones, and then the senior left tackle, Dylan Applewhite. 3 above 6 feet as well. Good size in the offensive line for McKinley. One of the many reasons as to why the running back Tyrone Hughes has his second 1,000-yard rushing season of his career. And he's got another run here. Hughes pushes away from one Flame and gets taken down past the 20 near the first down marker.
There's the old same play other way. Not quite the game they had in the previous play. They might want to stick to going to the left side there, but there was room to run.
Hughes picks up the first down. An 8-yard gain will move the sticks. It's been majority rushing so far for McKinley. Just 1 pass completed through the air through 14 minutes of football. Another run for Tyrone Hughes up the middle. Hughes breaking free, taken down at the 48.
Well, there's that little counter play again to the other side, and Libby Bates leading the way, 55, gets a little kick out there, and we know how dynamic Hughes is from earlier in the year, Jack. He's really any down, and that left side opening up a hole there.
A 20-yard pickup moves the sticks. 1st and 10 now at the 48-yard line. They go back to the run, this time with Nico Lewis. Good gain on 1st down.
And we saw this out of Coach Davis in overtime against Sweet Home. He just kept running the same play if it's working, and here he goes. He's just going back and forth, running the same play to the left and the right, and why not, right? It's getting big yards.
Lewis's 3rd run on the game. This one not called back for a penalty. A good run of 5 yards. It's what Mike Torillo said would kill the Flames if McKinley just ran the ball all game. They don't have the dogs up front in terms of size to compete with the strength of the McKinley offensive line. And an injury timeout on the field as a Williamsville East Flame is down near the 45.
You know, that play, Adunier pulled the ball. Maybe they just want to mix it up, Jack. But if he would have gave the ball, I think they would have had another big gain off that left side because those guys are clearing the way.
8:52 to go here in the first half of play. We'll take a break and rejoin you after that. The McKinley Macs have a 3rd down coming up for them. We'll see how head coach Brian Davis and company attack the Will East defense right after this on WNY Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
3rd and 5 coming up for McKinley here on Western New York Athletics as we welcome you back. Connor Greeley, the injured Williamsville East Flame, helped off to the sidelines. In his place comes No Fear Ramadan at defensive end. A fumble on the snap picked up by Adunier. He escapes the tackle of Dorian Faison, runs into his own man and puts on the moves in the backfield. Though not going anywhere is Adunier as Faison Jr. eventually.
Backfield problems again.
It's tough when you can't have any blockers as well. Nigel McDuffie both there, though neither knew where Adunier was going to go. They didn't want to put on a block. It'll bring up 4th down and 10, and then some. 4th and 11 here from their own 47. McKinley, they only punted 2 times in their game against Sweet Home a couple weeks ago. Perhaps in a situation where if they needed the win here today, they'd go for this. They elect to send out the punting unit. Booted away by Ronnie White. Hits off a McKinley Mac before it could reach the 30. Good field position for Will East. 7:30 to go in the first half of play. Still no score between the Flames and the Macs.
Yeah, if you're Will East here, I think you're definitely looking to get some points on the board, knowing that your season's on the line if you don't. Again, I wonder how many more chances they'll take knowing that they have to be a little more aggressive tonight.
A fumble and a punt. Their first 2 drives resulted in 1st down and 10 at the 34-yard line. Kulik in the shotgun. 2 receivers to each side. Looks to the right. Throws over the middle to Faison Jr. And it's intercepted. Nico Lewis picks it off from the number 1 receiver of the Flames.
Yeah, Faison doesn't believe it.
Well, no replay in high school football for the officials to look at. It's ruled an interception, and that's where it will stand.
Yeah, it's still a stalemate here as McKinley takes over with the ball on around the 50-yard line. Definitely was a ball thrown into coverage, though, Jack. He was covered, but he figured, hey, Faison's my guy. He'll come down with it if need be, but an interception the other way.
It's the 5th interception on the season for Calvin Kulik. A flag down at the 45-yard line as Nico Lewis from interception gets the handoff. This one's coming back on a hold.
Good block there from the other running back, Tyrone Hughes. The spring is all coming back.
7:16 on the clock. No score from Charlie Ding Boom Field in Buffalo. Well, a week ago at Hamburg, though, the Bulldogs did defeat these McKinley Macs. It was a good performance from Azaria Dunye until he went down with the injury. 7 of 10 passing, 60 yards through the air, just 1 interception, and he had 65 yards on 9 carries on the ground. We'll get a hefty dose of Brandon Liggins at quarterback as well if the offense needs a bit more of a passing attack, though with Adunye back there, expect the legs. Adunye drops it, scoops it back up, being chased by Charles Smith. A flag flies at the 45, and that's where Adunye gets dragged down by Jason Zhao.
Zhao with a solid hit there. Got a sideline going. Another penalty for the Macs. A lot of laundry today, Jack.
Yeah, really getting their money's worth is Paul Gagliardi and company.
I think Gags is trying to stay warm by throwing that flag around the field.
Not just on one team, though. It's at least even, where you see both teams have gotten called on false starts and holdings alike. 44 degrees and raining in Buffalo. Everyone's got to keep moving down there. First and very long here coming up for McKinley. They're going to talk about it. First and 28, the official marking. Down on the sidelines, we've got our Francis Beck. We'll see if he's got anything to say for us, though he's going to have coaching interviews at halftime. We invite you to stick around for those. He'll talk to Mike Torillo in his 7th year as Flames head coach. In Torillo's 7th year, he hasn't gotten a single championship to his credit, though he's been building this program towards a season like this. He's 19-37 overall, 7th season as a head coach, though he's been coaching for much longer than that at Sweet Home with John Fowler. He got to learn a lot being a Sweet Home coach under the legendary Coach Fowler.
Yeah, it's a shame that though they're still alive today, they started 4-0, and you know, any team that loses their quarterback, it's going to hurt, right? Unfortunately, his season, though they've been fighting through, it took a bit of a turn there, and they really performed well tonight to make the playoffs.
First down and 28 after the timeout. Liggins at quarterback hands it off for Lewis. Lewis carries Zhao with him. Now gets taken down up high by Mike Scioli at the 45.
That same guard tackle pull play they've been running and having success with, especially off that left side. Seems like they're a guy away from breaking it every time.
9-yard gain for Lewis, brings it back within 20 yards to go. So Liggins back at quarterback now for the Macs. A heavier arm than Adunye, though he'll just hand it off again for Lewis. Charles Smith and the defensive line of the Flames there to match him. The big Zaid El Nasser in the way.
And still 3rd and long for the Macs.
Third down and 17 to go with just over 5.5 to go in the half. McKinley looking to break the stalemate so far. Each team has had a punt. The first drive for McKinley was a turnover on downs in the red zone. Without a kicker on their roster, no chance at points without going for it. They'll go for this You would assume in 4-down territory, 3rd and 17 if they can pick up a couple. Liggins wants to go deep, and he fires it over the middle. His man was taken down. He was looking for Kevin Borden, and the McKinley sideline is irate.
Yeah, you got tangled up there. At least the defense will tell you that. It would have been interesting to see a jump ball with Borden, huh?
6-6 out wide.
In the first game we had him, Jack, we saw 6-6 there, and we walked over to him to do the eye test, and he passes it.
Definitely.
He's a big guy.
I'd like to think we're one of the bigger broadcast crews there are, both over 6 feet by a long shot. But you stand next to Kevin Borden and you think, well, I could be playing minor midget hockey right now. I don't feel about the same size.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
4th down and long. Looks like the Max will punt here. Ronnie White to boot it away. His second punt lands just before the 30, this time a McKinley roll. Still no score here at Charlie Ding Boom Field. The Williamsville East Flames will pick up offensively just past their own 20 right after this on Western New York Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
The McKinley defense helps out on the first play from scrimmage before the ball gets snapped. A jump on the defensive line, and Shamonte Griffin will back up the Max defense. 1st and 5 now for the Will East Flames.
As they're taking Griffin off the field for that, I don't know if he's hurt or, but Griffin's a guy who comes off the edge hard. He flies upfield, and that's his game.
Malik Kent comes in his place, though the pass is complete over the middle to Deuce Jemison, and a 1st down. Moving down the field come the Flames.
That's the 3rd time that they attacked that zone on the trip side there. A little opening in the zone and kind of pitch and catch.
4th completion on the day for Calvin Kulik. 2nd one to Deuce Jemison. Those two connected for 3 touchdowns in the first half against Hutch Tech a week ago. A lot of reps after practice. As the rain pours down here at Charlie Ding Boom Field, here comes Tom Orsini barreling his way past the 40. McDuffie brings him down.
If Orsini does one thing well, it's finishing runs. His runs are moving. That ball's moving forward after contact every time. He's not going backwards. He's putting his head down and getting that extra yard every time.
Second down, 3 to go at the 43-yard line. Tom Orsini back in action after missing last week in a non-league matchup with the Engineers. It stopped a 2-game losing skid for Williamsville East. Siaka in motion, handoff Orsini, pounds up the middle, and then gets stopped, and he's taken back after Carl Jones dives on top of him with the help of Rayshawn Riley.
I was pumped up Orsini there, but the McKinley D-line said differently. They knocked him back. He had a chance to plow ahead for a 1st down, but progress only takes him to about a 3rd and 2.
No score with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Will East needs to win this game by 19 or more points to make the postseason. If they do that, they would win the Class A2 division. It would be the first time in over 40 years they've won the division. Adunye just drops an interception that was looking for Deuce Jemison on the near side.
And McKinley's been playing zone all day except for on 3rd downs. 3rd downs, they went to man there again, and I think that kind of took Kulik by surprise as he went to step and release, and he had a covered receiver, and then he was kind of pressured on his way out there, and pretty crucial 4th down.
4th and 2 at the 44. You're normally not going for this, right, if it wasn't playoff on the line.
Yeah, maybe it's fourth down. Their season is on the line, though, that's for sure.
Kulik scans, delivers. Jemison makes the catch, and the first down for the Flames.
What a throw by Kulik, huh? He steps into that and right on target.
It was this exact route that Kulik connected with Jemison for 2 touchdowns in the first half. The second down the sideline, though this time picks up a crucial first down for the Flames inside MAC territory at the 44. Calvin drops back again to throw, goes deep down the right side looking for Faison. It falls incomplete.
You know, with the rain pouring down out there today, you wonder if it has any effect on the catching of the ball. It doesn't seem that way, does it?
Well, it's on again and off again down there. Rain seemed to have stopped momentarily. You look for the umbrellas on the far sideline to pop open as an indicator. McKinley prepared for the weather here. A game that was supposed to be played at All High Stadium got moved last minute in favor of boys high school soccer playoffs as Shamonte Griffin jumps offside again.
Griffin again a little anxious. Now we've seen Griffin rip up the field and be very effective off that edge, but Coach Davis had enough of that. He took him out again.
Shamonte Griffin, third on the team in tackles from the defensive end spot, the 6'4" senior. One of the reasons why the Macs have been so stingy defensively so far this season.
Well, Cool got him on the hard count a couple times, and Coach Davis hasn't having any of that. He's taking him right out.
Second down and 5, a handoff for Orsini. Busts up the middle. Orsini picks up the first down.
Orsini's showing some feet there, and he had pressure off the. If he went any slower there, he wouldn't stop, but he ripped right inside. Picked up a first. You got to think they have to score here, right?
Not just for the game, but all your eyes are on the playoffs at this point, right?
Right. I mean, what's the use if you're not going to get your 19 you need?
The second quarter has been favorable for the Flames, outscoring opponents 40-26 on the season. Kulik goes to the end zone looking for Siaka. He makes the catch at the 8-yard line. Reed Siaka down to the 4.
He's just kicking himself because he thought he had a easy pick there. He was kind of, at one point, posting up for it, but out of nowhere comes the Williamsville East receiver and takes that from Odunye.
First and goal for the Flames at the 4-yard line. Orsini in the backfield on the left hip of the junior Calvin Kulik. Orsini with a big hole up the middle. Touchdown, Williamsville East. They break the scoring drought and take the first lead of the game with 65 seconds to go in the half.
That's what they needed. They scored between the half, right before the end of the half, and I guess that's probably the best thing that can happen to them right now, right? And then they have a minute to defend the situation, but Williamsville East with an impressive drive right before the end of the half.
Orsini picks up his 5th rushing touchdown on the season. The extra point attempt now for Brandon Schill. A fake. Schill to the end zone for the 2-point conversion. A for Williamsville East.
The strike.
Tom Orsini with the 2-point conversion. Reception. An 8-0 lead for the Will East Flames. 65 seconds to go in the first half.
Sometimes those are, the extra point really makes it or breaks it for you, but You wonder if that was a scout they saw in how McKinley defends the PATs or something they had all year. But either way, it was effective. It was fun, and they're up 8-0.
Well, when McKinley doesn't have a kicker, they're not kicking any extra points. They don't run extra points in practice. You don't get the chance to practice blocking a kick like that or working against a fake.
Yeah, a lot of times, though, you see how they defend it, and you kind of, spend a segment during the week on those things, and certainly Coach Trillo did that, and it's always good when it works.
Right. Genius when it connects. Dumbfounded are the fans when it misses.
Yeah, when those things don't work, it makes you look silly sometimes, but it worked that time. It makes you look really good. 8-0, good start.
Just a minute for McKinley to go down the field, though they're explosive on kickoff returns. Here comes Nigel McDuffie down the sideline. McDuffie down at the 25.
When there you just saw the open field and 51 seconds left in the half. That makes it a lot easier on McKinley to answer.
Dunier had a 90-yard kickoff return touchdown last week against Hamburg that changed the tides of that game. Nigel McDuffie may have just done the same here today.
Number 10, Charles Smith, almost had him in about the 30-yard line, but he wasn't able to bring him down, and that opened up the entire field on the right side here. And here we are in 51 seconds in crucial defense for Williamsville East.
At the 26-yard line, it's not the best field position that McKinley's had to start a drive here today, though they won't complain with 51 seconds to go in the half. Liggins hands it off to Hughes. Up the left side, he's met in the backfield by Siaka.
Yeah, Siaka's an impressive defender as he's shot up a couple times and made plays there. And
from number 33 in white forces McKinley to take a timeout. 38 seconds to go in the half. 8-0, the deficit for the Macs. Their first three drives, a turnover on downs inside the 10-yard line, followed by back-to-back punts.
Yeah, super crucial here that they get a stop. We've seen all year in all levels of football that what happens in around a half, depending on who receives it at the second half, can really have a huge effect on the game, and this game's no different.
McKinley will receive the ball to start the second half. A score here would be crucial for the Macs in their hopes of winning the A2 division. With a win today, by no matter the score, they would clinch just that. Liggins to throw. 40 seconds to go. Liggins looks to the end zone, tipped and incomplete. Deuce Jemison tipped it up. Scioli hit the turf, and it falls incomplete. I beg your pardon, that's Kenny Stinson in coverage.
Stinson fell in from the other corner, and good thing he did because I think O'Dunia had a step there. And good awareness by Stinson to fall in from the other side of the ball and tip that up.
34 seconds remain. 3rd down and 12 for the Macs. Liggins, after starting on the sidelines, now moves under center, though a flag flies pre-snap. Another false start on the Macs will back them up 5.
Dunier there on the wheel route coming wide open, and he's jumping up and down because he knew it. And McKinley, if they run that same play, they're hoping that Williams doesn't know it.
Nico Lewis, the running back in the backfield. He averages 16 yards a carry. That would not pick up the first down. It's 3rd and 17. Liggins will throw.
Same play.
Over the middle. Down the sideline, Adunier couldn't complete the catch.
Yeah, they're on the short side of the field over there, Jack. I think if they weren't, might have a different outcome as Adunier had to adjust to the wide throw and he got out of bounds. But it's too bad that flag went because they might have had 6 if they were able to run that play the previous down.
Well, and Liggins throwing into the hefty wind here as well. blowing across the field from the end zone that they are attacking. Why not go for it on 4th and 17? 26 seconds to go in the half. At the opposing 34, Lewis in motion. 4 receivers now to the near side. It's a pass for Lewis over his head, incomplete, and a turnover on downs. The Flames, after suffering a big kickoff return against, get the stop again and get the ball back with 22 seconds to go.
No. Williamsville East, that was a big stop for them. You might just see them get out of this half.
Brandon Liggins still looking for his first completion on the day. He hasn't been able to connect with a receiver yet. His best chance on that last series. Will East has an opportunity to go up 2 scores if they can march down the field from their own 34 in the next 22 seconds. Handoff for Charles Smith. Going nowhere.
Yeah, I think Will East is going to get out of this half and take their lead to the locker room.
On a cold night in Buffalo, the Flames are bringing the heat in the first half. 8-0 lead for Williamsville East in a must-win matchup with the Macs if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, with an opportunity to win the division for the first time in 40 years. We will now send you down to the sidelines as Francis Beck will be joined momentarily by the head coach of the McKinley Macs, Brian Davis, in his 4th season. With a win here today, could clinch the A2 division for McKinley. Francis seems to just be about ready with Coach Davis. We'll go down to him now. Francis, what do you got?
All right, I'm with Coach Brian Davis of the McKinley Macs. Coach, not the way you wanted that first half to go, struggling really both on offense and defense. What's going to be your message to your guys at half?
We need to eliminate the penalties. We got to continue to execute on offense. Defensively, we play our game. Like, we literally have to read our keys and coach up to do, and that's really it. It's that simple.
Nigel McDuffie, head coach, had that big kickoff return. He's had a couple nice runs. What do you make of his first half performance?
He's doing okay. He's killing us with the penalties, but he's doing okay as far as like offensively and defensively. We're going to run the ball a little bit more this second half, though.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. All right, Jack, Mike, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Francis. We'll now send you to a quick commercial break before Coach and I break down the first half, and plenty more coming up on our halftime show here on Western New York Athletics. We'll look forward to the weekend on WNY Athletics. We'll have stats from the first half and all that coming up after this break here on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Back on Western New York Athletics here at halftime, an 8-0 lead for the Williamsville East Flames in a must-win matchup. As we look at some of our stats here on halftime, we'll get to those in just a minute. Coach, if we want to look forward to the second half and what you saw from the first half, let's talk about our three keys. First, for the Williamsville East Flames, what have you seen from them in the first half, and what do they need to do in the second?
Well, I think if they want to win this game, especially by the points they need to not only continue to play good defense, but they need to maintain balance between the run and the pass. You've seen what they can do if they do that. I think penalties for both teams have really hindered them, but if they can maintain balance between run and pass and keep McKinley in that too deep defense where they can do either, I think then that's probably their best shot of getting it done tonight.
For the McKinley offense, we've seen them be able to move the ball consistently on the ground. In some situations, they've kind of been forced to go to the air, but would you like to see them just kind of stick to that ground and pound game in half number two? Yeah,
I think penalties have maybe took them out of what they want to do, but they definitely have been able to run the ball. I think if they continue to do that without the penalties, kind of like Coach was talking about at halftime there, he's putting on his guys to stop holding and doing those things. They should be able to run the ball successfully and get some consistency.
Well, they have 0 points so far in the half, though not without their opportunities. Their first drive of the game started in offensive territory and ended inside the 10-yard lines. How crucial is that stop for Will East on the first drive defensively?
Well, the first and the last, right? Because they could have easily gave up a touchdown there as well, and the defense is hold tough when they needed to, and it's kept them in a position where they can do this. They can pull this off and make the playoffs.
They'll need to score a couple more points. Coach, overall, what do you got to look for on both sides of the ball here in half number two if we want, a good game here in half number two?
Well, I think Coach Davis hit the nail on the head. They need to play clean, right? And they have to, just execute, right? I mean, both teams have killed themselves with penalties at times, and who knows? It might open up the second half as well because they're in those locker rooms right now figuring that all out.
Well, it's a good time here at Riverside High School, and we're glad to be inside at Riverside High School on a rainy, cold day in Western New York. We'll take a break and come back with a preview of what's coming up this weekend on Western New York Athletics with playoff scenarios and more with Francis Beck right after this.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Back at halftime, the McKinley Macs trailing 8-0 to the visitors of Williamsville East, who jump out to a lead with 65 seconds to go in the half. We're now joined by Francis Beck. Francis, let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow on Western New York Athletics. One game, and it's a big one for our viewers interested in the Class A playoffs.
Yeah, so it'll be Clarence at Jamestown. Jamestown can clinch the #1 seed in Class A1 with a win, and if things go their way, they could even get the #1 overall seed. For you City fans, really, the big game to watch tomorrow is going to be South Park Maritime. Not only will first place in the A3 division be on the line, but if South Park scores more than 13, they clinch the #1 overall seed.
So good things to note there. That game, Clarence and Jamestown on our networks. Whether you want to find out about seeding or all that, Francis, where can people find out about the football playoff bracket come this weekend?
All right, so we're doing something really special Saturdays. We're going to do a Section 6 playoff preview show, 2 o'clock. I'm going to show you my brackets. It's going to be me, Stu Boyer, Tom Prince, Tim Chifa, and we're inviting 15 of some of the top players in all of Western New York for interviews in our headquarters in Amherst. And so it's going to be brackets, analysis, and live interviews. So 2 o'clock Saturday, you better tune in. We're going to be releasing the names pretty shortly. Tomorrow is who's we're going to have. We have some big names coming in.
Well, I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see how your bracket shapes out, Francis. Ken Maurice, sadly, probably won't be involved with that bracket, though maybe next year for the Bulldogs. We'll take another break and come back as Francis rushes down to the field to get Coach Mike Torillo out of halftime. We'll be back after this short message, or perhaps not. We'll stay right here on Western New York Athletics and give you some of the halftime stats so far. Mike Fata, you can come on back over as we'll start to look forward to the second half. Tim Gardner steps out of the booth for a hot minute, so we'll stay here. 142 yards of offense for the Williamsville East Flames, a majority of those coming on the ground as they've got 70 yards. Well, it's really dead even. 70 yards on the ground, 72 yards through the air for Williamsville East and the Flames, and it has them up 8-0 at the half.
Yeah, we talked about the balance, and I think if they would just execute both teams really not shoot themselves in the foot with the holdings and the procedural penalties. It seems like that team that can do that will pull ahead here.
54 yards and a touchdown on the ground off 9 attempts rushing for Tom Orsini. A big welcome back for number 21 in white today. On the flip side, Adunye's got 1 completed pass. Brandon Liggins has yet to complete a pass. 12 yards through the air for McKinley, though they've got 71 total, mostly on the ground, from their lead back, Nico Lewis and Tyrone Hughes, who have split the time there.
Yeah, we've seen McKinley in the past. In the Sweet Home game, we saw them commit to the run at the very end there and just march down the field. And keeping it simple, I think maybe you'll see a little bit of that out of them in the second half. And, maybe just kind of get in a heavier formation and do that, maybe take control of the line of scrimmage, which I know they think they can do moving forward.
Francis Beck sprinted down to the sidelines. We'll go to him
Mike
now.
Mike Torillo down here, Coach, up 8-0. This is where you want to be going into the second half. What was the message to your guys at halftime?
Yeah, we're playing a 0-0 game right now where we got to win this half. This is what we're after. We got to win this half right now.
Thomas Orsini, the lone touchdown. What do you make of his performance today?
To have him back. You know, he's fighting through a little ankle injury, but he's a trooper. And it's just like the rest of these guys. They're playing for their season. They want to get it.
All right, thank you, Coach. Jack, Mike, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Francis. Tom Orsini off that high ankle sprain, back full time here today. He was at practice yesterday, Mike Fata. He was at practice showing Coach as much as he could do, running all the warm-ups, doing all the drills. When I showed up, Coach said, yeah, we're going to be without Tom this week, though he's trying to prove that he's ready to go. Orsini fighting his way into the starting lineup, and he's been crucial so far with the lone score and the lone 2-point conversion here today.
Oh, it's like Coach said, these guys have been working all year for this, and, here it is, and they want to be out there. And, it's good to see, especially with the loss of Samson earlier in the year, losing a guy like the running back, Orsini, that'll even put him back further. So it's good to see him out there. Like Coach Torillo said, this is their season right here, and makes you kind of want to root for him, right?
It's tough. Oh, and, everyone forgot to kick the football. The whole special teams unit ran past the 40. Seemed as though the official forgot to blow the whistle.
No, they tried an onside kick there, Jack, and he kind of flubbed it. I guess the surprise is taken out of that.
Well, Brandon Schill did his best. He's already got a 2-point conversion through the air. The senior kicker does.
They had their middle guy in the return there, Shimani Griffin, off about 5-10 yards, maybe not 10, 5-7 yards, and they were trying to attack that, but now guess what? He moved up because they flubbed the opening onside kick. Well, he's
they'll try it again.
Still went for it. Didn't go 10.
Unfortunate try. Well, you'd think they would switch the call after that first mistrial.
Well, I'll tell you what. They would have had it if it went 10 yards.
Yeah.
He didn't kick it. Didn't kick it far enough, even with the surprise element gone.
2 seconds gone by as the McKinley Max will take over on offense in offensive territory.
I still like that call from Coach Torillo. Like he said, their season's on the line, and why not try to steal a possession there? It's a shame it didn't go 10 yards. They at least had a shot at it, especially the first one where they had Griffin way off the line. And that would have been a certainty almost.
Though still, the Macs have not been able to convert on 2 drives that landed inside Willie's territory, 2 drives that started in Willie's territory, ended in turnover on downs. 1st and 10 this time from the 47. A run up the middle for Tyrone Hughes, snuffed before the 40. A good gain on 1st down on the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
Well, let's see that run game we were talking about at halftime, trying to establish that. Still in a spread formation, though. They brought number 20 in there tight to the formation as a kind of an H-back to lead the way. But 5 yards and 1st down, not a bad first start.
Tyrone Hughes, 6 rushes on the day. He's got 40 yards on the ground, over 1,000 on the season. The sophomore back-to-back 1K rushing yard seasons. 2 weeks ago at Sweet Home, he wanted to get to that 1K mark. He did it on a 90-yard run. Nico Lewis had an impressive run in that one as well, and he's got another here past the 30.
Yeah, there's Nico Lewis, that H-back we were just talking about, getting the ball in a little inside counter play, and Jason Zhao overrunning the play there. I think Zhao thought he was going to go wide, but Lewis cut up underneath him, caught Zhao over pursuing, and got a good gain for 1st down.
13-yard pickup for Nico Lewis brings his total to 39. Splitting the backfield almost evenly. Tyrone Hughes has a hole. He wants a big gain of his own. Siaka eventually brings him down with help from his outside linebacker in Corey Kerr, though not before a huge gain for the Macs.
It's Coach Davis' favorite run play, it seems, that guard tackle pull play where they got numbers at the point of attack, and huge holes there in that play all night.
18-yard gain for Tyrone Hughes, and the Macs are driving well. 3 plays gone by. They're at the 10, 1st and goal. Adunye wants to get in on the rushing action, bounces to the left side. He's got 1 blocker and nothing but green. Touchdown, McKinley.
There, kind of what we predicted at halftime, Jack, is run, and keeping it simple, keeping it on the ground, and just like that, McKinley's
4-play, 48-yard drive, all rushes, and it's the second rush on the day for Azari Adunya for his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. Down 2 points. We knew this would come no matter what. The 2-point attempt coming up for McKinley. It's Brandon Liggins at quarterback with Hughes to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Liggins will keep and run up the middle. He bowls over one man and gets in for the 2. 8-8 our score with 10:15 to go in the third quarter.
A little bit of a heartbreaker there for Williamsville East, who had the 8-0 lead. We know they need 19, maybe up 19 to make the playoffs, and now they're back to even. But they have a chance to answer here.
Well, they had a chance at an onside kick to start this half that gave the Macs such good field position. Though with the way that drive just went, Coach, you can't imagine it would have been a different result had they gotten the ball in their own end.
Yeah, they marched right down with 5 straight run plays, and boom, 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 they're in the end zone. And it is that simple sometimes if the run game's working.
It's the athletes, too, for McKinley, right, where Coach Torillo said the other day, it's those big-time plays. You saw McKinley had last week against Hamburg an 80-yard touchdown off a kickoff return. We already saw the kickoff return from Nico Lewis Nigel McDuffie earlier today. Those explosive plays need to be limited for Willies to not only have a chance at a 19-point victory, but a victory overall.
We look at the touchdown run from Adunya. They had him hemmed up, but he just reverses field and it goes the other way for a score. I mean, it's hard to practice against, and if you're not completely disciplined on the backside, that slips through, and just it's frustrating to defend that kind of athlete.
Siaka gets taken down before he can find the 20-yard line. He didn't let it roll out or stop at the 15. He scoops it up and doesn't get much of a return off. 10-10 to go in the third. 1st and 10 from their own 14. The Will East Flames take over offensively. Calvin Kulik looking for touchdown number 4 on the season through the air after replacing the Connolly Cup contender Sean Sansone 2 weeks ago. Spread offense for the Flames, 3 receivers to the near side. Kulik fires over the middle. Jemison rises up and makes the play. Then he's met by 3 McKinley Macs. Borden and McDuffie were there, but wrestling him down to the turf was Lewis.
Yeah, the little hook curl play there, little stick route has been open all day. It's the 3rd or 4th time they've hit it. See, McKinley, I think Coach Davis went over there at halftime because they did walk out on a little bit, but nonetheless, they weren't far enough out, and there was another complete pass.
Jemison has been the number 1 target for Calvin Kulik, though through the first 6 weeks of the year, Dorian Faison was Sean Sansone's favorite wideout, as those two connected for 11 touchdowns through the air before Sansone went down. It's been all Jemison so far for Kulik as Tom Orsini gets in on the ground game. Gets to the 25. Is it enough for the first down? The officials say yes.
Yeah, keep it simple on the ground there. And as we said early on, they have to start attacking here. Because I know that not only the game is not a typical situation where you're trying to win a game, Jack. You have this stipulation where to keep your season alive, you have to score points, right? You need more than just your 1-point victory. You need 19, and that's going to change things, I'm sure.
Quick pass to the near side. Jemison again pushed out of bounds at the 31. Coach, on that same token, how soon do you start thinking about the time remaining in the game when you need 19 points?
Right, that's what I'm saying. And, you probably want to throw the ball more than you usually would. And, those hitches might turn into hitches and goes soon. And again, I'm sure McKinley's on top of that as well, and they're going to stay in a deeper shell here.
Kevin Borden at safety creeps up. Handoff Orsini. Fights for a few yards here on 2nd down.
Borden's a big safety back there, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. 6'6" at safety. You rarely see the height at that strong safety spot.
Well, he's got the athleticism, though. We saw him earlier. He can move. He can jump. And they're taking him out.
Right on cue, Azaria Dunye slides into his spot. Him and McDuffie, the deep safeties.
They got Faison in the slot here.
Jemison at the bottom of the screen.
Third down, he might run the ball, get a first down here.
There's Orsini. Adunye stepped up and made the tackle. Yep. They bring him off the bench, and he makes the play. Is he short?
He got a favorable spot. I think he's got it.
Adunye came off the bench from the safety spot. He takes out Kevin Borden, and they're going to have to bring out the chains here with 7.5 to go in the third quarter. A measurement coming up on the field.
Well,
can we take a look at the Connolly Cup nominations from last week? No, we don't have it. Never mind. We'll take a break, and we'll come back after this on Western New York Athletics. 7.5 to go in the third.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
They rule it good enough for the first down. Orsini picks up the gain. His 6th first down rushing already today. Orsini welcomed back mightily by the Flames offense.
Yeah, Orsini's a strong runner, and he needed every inch of that to get the first down.
They go right back to him. Orsini, way more than 1 yard on 1st and 10. He gets to around the 44.
And you have Kulik coming to the sideline every time to get the play.
And a timeout on the field called by the McKinley Max. They want to talk about it. What do you think McKinley's trying to talk about here with Brian Davis?
Well, it seems like that. So they're really trying to respect that hook curl area that Williamsville has hit many, I think 4 times now. But in doing that, they're letting up their box, and they're Orsini's kind of taking advantage of that there. And I think if you're McKinley, if you're looking at the big picture there, you might want to let that continue to happen because the clock's running then.
Well, so far an 8-0 lead in this third quarter for McKinley. It's been the worst quarter on the season for Will East. The opponents in A2 outscoring the Flames 38-21 so far in the third quarter this year. Though every other quarter they've been able to outscore their opponents, it's been the third that's been the thorn in their side. Meanwhile, the Macs outscoring their opponents in the third quarter by 40 points. So if there's a time for McKinley to put on some pressure, it is these next 7 minutes. 2nd and 1 from the 45-yard line.
Well, Coach Davis want to switch up the coverage here. You've seen man right across the board.
Kulik looking to take a shot over the middle for Faison. He makes the catch at the 30. Still on his feet. Dorian Faison. Oh, my! Dorian Faison just out of bounds before he reached the end zone.
Faison is a smooth receiver and catches it all hands, and he was just pushed out of bounds. What a play by Faison, huh?
A 44-yard gain for Dorian Faison through the air. The largest play of the game for either team. A beautiful pass from Kulik as well, right on the money. Just the 3rd catch on the day for Dorian. Tom Orsini gets the run and will get a good gain on 1st. 14th run on the game for Tom Orsini, good for 3 yards.
Yeah, you see Williamsville here obviously in a must-score position.
Second down and 6 at the 7. Orsini again has a hole on the right side of the line that is closed immediately by Carl Jones.
Yeah, McKinley plug in the middle there. They know. I think they know that McKinley matches up a little better than Williamsville does in the perimeter, especially kind of manning him up there in the short field. They're running right into the teeth of that defense.
Will East missing their starting right guard, Aiden Murphy. Edward Dykes in his place. That's where they ran on the previous play, now 3rd and 4. Kulik fires end zone, intercepted! Tyrone Hughes breaks a tackle. Hughes past the 30, flips the script for the McKinley Macs. They'll take over on their own line.
What a turn of events there, Hughes. I thought for sure Hughes was going to take that to the house when he picked that off. He's players in this. It's good that if you're Williamsville East, it's good they at least caught him and give himself a chance. But what a turn of events!
The tackle, Maevsky, he only plays receiver, though he chased him down like a seasoned DB there. As Tyrone Hughes picks up his first interception on the season, the sophomore does it not only at the running back spot, but at the safety position as well. Not what the Flames needed, to say the least. 1st and 10 now at the 36-yard line. A run for Adunye. Adunye still on his feet, picks up the first down.
Yeah, I think you're going to see McKinley just commit to the run here and maybe sprinkle in something to keep Williamsville honest, but truthfully, they haven't needed anything else in the second half. They've been running the ball at will.
2 interceptions thrown by Calvin Kulik have been the difference so far on drives that could have resulted in those 2 scores that McKinley has been able to evade. A run on first down for Hughes. Gets a decent gain. 6-yard pickup.
Coach Davis just mixing in the runs. Got a lot of success with this formation, the H-back formation, with number 20 Lewis. Might get the ball here. There he is.
Just like you called, Lewis around the left tackle picks up the first down and then some.
And too many athletes, I think, on the McKinley side. Not only they have Tyrone Hughes, but they can sprinkle the ball into Nico Lewis. They have McDuffie on the edge. There's Borden out there, the big target. When they're clicking, Jack, they're a dangerous team to defend.
With a win, they would clinch a top 3 seed in the class moving into the playoffs next week. Adunye keeps the clock moving as he dives to the 35. Still plenty of time remaining, though for Will East, like we've almost beaten the horse to death at this point, it's not about just the win. What a pick would mean here for the Flames, almost indescribable. Run again. This time, Hughes. It's a couple yards.
Yeah, it seems every time McKinley keeps it simple, they just roll and move the ball at will.
They've done it with a split backfield as well. 9 carries for Hughes, 8 carries for Lewis. Hughes back there. He'll get the handoff again.
Ball.
Falls out. Fumble on the play. Recovered by McKinley. A flair for the dramatics.
Yeah, faked us out there. Well, first down and the clock's ticking and everything's moving in McKinley's favor at this point.
4th first down on the day converted by Tyrone Hughes, though it looked for a moment as if we would have different things to say about that drive. McKinley looking to score on back-to-back drives. Adunye takes it. Faison Jr. went for the football. He missed it, but got the legs of the quarterback down at the 20.
Nico Lewis coming back in the game, and when he's been in there, they've been at their best.
On 8 carries, Nico Lewis has 56 yards on the ground. Adunye the lone score for the Macs on a 10-yard rush earlier in this quarter. Adunye in the gun. Hands off to Tyrone Hughes. The sophomore stumbles, regains his footing, and gets the first down and then some.
Yeah, you're really seeing the McKinley offensive line take over, Jack. You have, Lemmy Bates on the right side there. Really, tonight anyway, the strength of their offensive line. I've seen him clear the way the whole night. Along with Rashawn Ridley, 56. Those two guys, if they're not running to the right there, they're pulling the other way and running behind them on the left side.
First and goal at the 4, handoff Hughes again up the middle, pushing his way to the goal line. He's down just shy. Three-yard gain moves them closer. McKinley looking to go on top for the first time today. Their season started with a 6-game winning streak. They dropped their first game in league play last week at Hamburg. They have not led since the second quarter of that game. Lewis changes that with one run of 1 yard into the end zone. Touchdown, McKinley.
Good read by Adunye. He had the option to pull that ball or give it to his teammate Lewis. It was a good decision as the end took the quarterback, and Lewis basically walks in.
His 7th touchdown on the season. Nico Lewis had a big one against Sweet Home a few weeks ago to end the Panthers season. He's looking to end the Flames season here today. The Macs, the bullies of A2, they've been able to shut out a few teams so far this year and put a nail in the coffin of a few teams' seasons.
Yeah, and unless Williamsville really does something dramatic here, it'll be their nail in their coffin as well. Adunye kind of scampers in the end zone for 2.
What a cutback from Asari Adunye.
He's got some feet.
A 16-8 lead for the McKinley Macs. 1:41 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a break and come back with the Flames looking to respond after this.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
A 16-8 lead for the McKinley Macs here at Charlie Ding Boom Field at Riverside High School. 1:41 to go in the third quarter as McKinley scores on back-to-back drives to start this second half. And they kick off to the Will East Flames and their best player, Dorian Faison Jr. Dorian, with a season on the line, gets to the 40-yard line.
As we said during the break, Jack, we really – you need to get Dorian Faison involved if you have any chance of not only winning this game, but winning it in the fashion that you need to advance. And we need to get him touches and often.
Dorian Faison Jr. leads the team in receptions with 33 entering today. He's got 3 receptions for 54 yards, a majority of that coming on a 44-yard catch prior to the interception thrown by Kulik on the last drive that was inside the 10-yard line. We've got a pre-snap penalty on the field.
They got him singled up here, so maybe they'll take a shot.
Perhaps not a penalty, though, just the officials signaling up to the scoreboard. It's 16-8 is the score for McKinley. They'll have to adjust that up The officials want those 2 points thrown back on the board. McKinley gets their wish. The fans rejoice one more time. 94 seconds to go in the third quarter. Will East looking to respond after suffering back-to-back scores. They go to the run.
Yeah, nothing doing there. Well, McKinley went to man about halfway through the last drive and got out of their zone defense. And I think that was a response to the Williamsville East having success running the ball. They really haven't done much since other than that long pass to Faison. But, you know, in that trips formation, he's singled up over there. You got to think that Coach Trillo is going to dial up a pass to him here.
Kevin Borden, the lone safety, back for the Macs. Everyone else within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. Kulik pitches. Orsini with space on the right side. Tom Orsini with a blocker of Faison down to the 45.
The option to the short side there, and perfect call as the defensive end ripped off the edge. Good block by Faison, 2 downfield. He was churning those player.
15-yard pickup moves the chains and then some. The final 40 seconds tick away. Will East needs every one of them to count to keep their playoff dreams alive. 1st and 10 now at the 45. Still man coverage for the Macs. Kulik pump fakes, gets taken down. Guess who? Shamonte Griffin in the backfield.
Inside that time, but doing what he does, he's coming off that edge hard. You know, he had a one-on-one out there, and Kamifir Ramadan didn't have a chance against someone like Shamonte Griffin, who comes off the ball there so hard. They had a 5-man line where they all singled up. Everyone had a one-on-one, and no one got there quicker than Griffin.
Calvin Kulik wanted to go deep. He'll have to do so to get out of this jam. 2nd and 19 coming up in the fourth quarter. But first we go down to the sideline with Francis Beck. Francis.
Hey, Jack, Mike, if you for audience members who've been tuning in all season long on Thursday Night Football, you remember a couple of weeks ago when McKinley headed to Sweet Home, it was Kennard Lewis who had that game-winning touchdown in overtime. Kennard Lewis scores that second touchdown there, of course. So big contributor for this game. Also Tyrone Hughes. You saw him with the pick six. He was also key on that first drive for McKinley. Hughes was the leading rusher of all freshmen last year in Section 6, and he seems to be putting himself a very nice career, and future is only bright for him. Still has 2 seasons left, believe it or not. Jack, Mike, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Francis. Great insight down on the sidelines. And a special shout-out to Pat Schwab as well on the camera down there in the cold, cold weather. Coach, as soon as we arrived, we were glad to be out of the elements and up in the press box.
Francis down there in shorts again, and I don't know if he thought the flames actually produce heat.
Well, he is on that sideline. Perhaps he's sticking close for the body heat.
I don't know how he's doing it.
Well, a fumble on the snap recovered by Shamonte Griffin. Calvin Kulik on the turf, and a turnover costly for the Flames. McKinley takes over again.
Yeah, Griffin's in that backfield before you know it, and the ball hits the turf. He was the first one there as well. You know, a team coming up against McKinley's got to have something for Griffin. They have to kind of, I don't know, use his aggressiveness against him because he's a player off the edge, and he's shown that all year long.
Well, the Macs will take over after forcing the second fumble on the day. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles lost for the Williamsville East Flames, along with a punt and 1 touchdown. Those are the drive ends for the Flames. Not what you need when you're looking for a win and a playoff push. Down 8 points now in the fourth quarter. The McKinley Macs with Adunye and blockers. Adunye picks up the first down from the 43 all the way down inside the 35.
Adunye off the right side there on a quarterback sweep. You had Faison trying to hawk him down from behind, and I thought he had him initially, but Adunye's, you know, if not the fastest guy out there, he's really close, and he's tough to catch from behind. Gets an easy first down. Makes it look easy anyway.
13 first downs for McKinley so far today. Tyrone Hughes will have another for the Macs on this run.
Guard tackle power again, and to the left side. That's been their best play all day on the ground. Most consistent anyway.
The 13th rush on the day for Tyrone Hughes, good for 11. He's now over 100 yards rushing. First and 10 at the 14.
Same play other way, Jack. There it is.
Nico Lewis this time to the right side. Stuffed there. Credit to the Willies defense. Now, the kids all know what you need when you enter a situation like this. You need a win by a certain amount of points. Credit to them for not going down 8 points in the fourth quarter and giving up here.
Yeah, I mean, beating McKinley is tall enough order, but you know, beating them so handily is a whole other story. And you know, the way they run the ball here, it's not going to get any easier as the game goes on. You had 10 minutes left in the game, and McKinley in complete control.
That was not the story at halftime. McKinley was trailing 8-0 after 2 quarters. The Flames come out with an onside kick attempt. They didn't get it past the 10 yards necessary. McKinley walks down 48 yards for a touchdown. They get an interception after Will East look to build something of their own. They score on that drive, and here they look to score again. For the third straight drive, they get down to the 1-yard line here with Nico Lewis.
Jason Zow with another tackle there. He's been a bright spot defensively for Williamsville. Junior linebacker. Trying to keep McKinley out of the end zone.
Adunye in the gun. Hand off to Hughes. Touchdown, Max. 14 rushing touchdowns on the season for Tyrone Hughes, and the sophomore extends the lead for McKinley. They're up 2 scores.
Yeah, I don't know that McKinley's attempted a pass in the second half, have they?
Not one.
Yeah, so kind of what we said at halftime. We thought the key to them, and you know, it's really no secret. You know, they needed to have some consistently running the ball and stay away from the penalties, and they've done that. And since they started that, it's been no question who the stronger team is tonight.
3 touchdowns on the ground. They had 2 two-point conversions good already. One for Liggins, one for Adunye. Adunye will be in the gun here for the 2-point attempt. Follows the caravan, jumps his way over the goal line. Was he short? No. They rule him into the end zone. Good for the 2. 24-8, the score for McKinley with 9:13 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll be back right after this.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Back on Western New York Athletics, an injury to Tazon Anderson on the McKinley defense, or offense rather, on the 2-point conversion. He goes down but walks his way off to the sidelines with 9:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. Well, Mike Fadda, it seems like you should go back to coaching, as what you said at halftime proved to be exactly what McKinley did. Run the ball is what you said, and they've done just that.
Well, it doesn't take a rocket science to see that they're good up front with the dudes they have. It's you know, that's their formula, I think. moving forward, because we saw it in the Sweet Home game when they needed it, they went to it, and tonight, Coach Day was real wise to just keep it simple and keep it on the ground and get some consistency going. And since they've done that, it's been nothing but McKinley.
Clarence and Jamestown on our network tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. A big matchup in Class A to determine who wins that A1 division, as McKinley, if they hold on to this lead, will clinch the victory in A2, moving them to 5-1 in league play, and they would win the divisional title, and quite handily. Kenmore West and West Seneca West would be the 2 and 3 seeds in A2 if this score does stand, though of course you play that first round. Division winners take seeds 1 through 3, the seconds take 4 through 6, and then the 2 wild cards could come down to some point differentials. Though, Coach, we've gotten a chance to see a couple teams from Class A so far this year. Obviously, these McKinley Macs. You think back to earlier in the season, we saw South Park and the Sparks play at All High Stadium. There's plenty of good teams across the landscape of Class A, but those two would be 2 divisional winners if South Park wins their game against Western New York Maritime tomorrow.
It's an exciting time of year for high school football, for the coaches and kids and everyone involved. And guess who that was, Jack?
Well, I would assume Shamonte Griffin got in there first before a host of Macs got to Calvin Kulik, who is respectfully helped up by the linebacker for McKinley.
It sure was.
Timon McNamee there to scoop him up.
Shamonte Griffin shot out of a cannon there.
6'4", running right at you off the edge. Not fun.
I don't know if he runs at you. He runs around you for sure. He's running at the quarterback, that's for sure.
2nd down, 19 to go after the sack.
Guys like that this time, it's very likely to be a pass. So guys like that are just drooling. This is what they do, and there's nothing more fun than hitting a quarterback, at least in my experience.
2nd down, 19 to go from the 30. Will East needs a big play, and now. In motion to the near side is Jemison. The throw down the near side, caught by Dorian Faison. Puts a stiff arm on and gets down to the 30. Some trickery in a big play.
I think if you throw out the Faison, good things are gonna happen for you, right? You had heat on it, but he was just shy. I guess he wasn't tall enough, Jack. He was 6'7" maybe. But good focus by Faison coming down with that ball, because it's not easy when someone.
45-yard gain on the play. It's the second big catch for Dorian Faison today. He had 1 for 44. This time he tops his own record on longest play from scrimmage today with a 45-yard haul for his 4th reception, now at 99 yards through the air. A pitch to Orsini up high. Tom handles it, beats Griffin to the outside. A flag flies back at the 30 as Faison Jr. put a block.
This is a wise call there, pitching off of Griffin, because Griffin, we talked about how athletic he is coming off the edge. Instead of trying to around him, they pitch off of him, but that's coming back anyway. It's some kind of penalty on Waynesville East.
Coach, I got to say, I was at Will East practice yesterday. I saw that trick play work to perfection. Jemison to Dorian Faison Jr. Was kind of waiting for them to pull that one out in a game like this. Coach Mike Torillo waits until his team is down 2 scores where he needs a big play. I don't want to say I'm Nostradamus, but you could tell they needed a big play in that moment. First play from scrimmage that's not a run is a trick play, and it winds up in a big first down now here on 1st and long. The Flames need another one and quick with 7 minutes to go in the 4th.
Yeah, right.
Kulik looking deep down the middle of the field. It is incomplete. No, it is caught. Oh, what a catch. Ski.
Yeah, it looked incomplete to me, but he came down with it. Two guys right in the vicinity there. A good focused catch from receiver on the Williamsville East side.
Nigel McDuffie and Nico Lewis in coverage. Another double coverage catch, and Dryevsky moves the chains. Rolling right, Kulik tucks it, runs to the 15, and he's spun out of bounds by Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin blocked initially, but he's got the speed to recover and get back flat off the edge there and haul Kulik down. Williamsville East on the move, though.
Kulik picks up 3. He's back in the positives in terms of rushing yards, now at 1. Kulik throws to the end zone for Faison. He's interfered with, and he does get the call. Nico Lewis in coverage. Flag right there in the end zone.
And Lewis had his hands full there, and he had no choice but to really haul down Faison. Well, I guess he had a choice. If he didn't choose to, it might have been a 6-pointer.
You got to be all right with that penalty, with this score. You would think you're not too upset.
Well, it's not like the NFL where he's at the 1-yard line. He's going to go half the distance here, and if you're going to get beat, that's the play to make.
Second down, make it third down. No, second down, they change it back. Second down and 1 from the 9-yard line. Orsini in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. Faison one-on-one in the bottom of your screen. Kulik looks at him, throws to him, touchdown! Dorian Faison Jr. with touchdown number 12 on the season.
Well, good answer by Williamsville East. Be interesting to see if they again. I'll see why they wouldn't, even though McKinley knows it's coming. They need points. They need them quickly. Not 2-point conversion attempt.
24-14. Will East needs 2 points to bring it within 1 score. Throw to the near side again, looking for Faison. That time they slide Ronnie White to guard him defensively. White gets the best of the senior wideout on the 2-point attempt. No good. 10 points is the difference. 24-14 with 5:39 to go in the 4th quarter. Right here on Western New York Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Back on Western New York Athletics, a 10-point score as the McKinley Macs are up currently by 2 possessions, 24-14, as they score on their 3rd straight drive here in half number 2 after trailing 8-0 at halftime.
As we line up here, I think we could be getting it onside. I don't see what they have to lose. There it is. Well handled by McKinley, Jack. Number 22, McNamee. Didn't panic and comes down with it. So I'm sure we'll see more run here out of McKinley. They've been 100% run, I think, in the second half here, and with 5:39 left, I don't see why they would change things or do anything differently. As they're going to try to run the clock down and walk out of here with a win.
At this point, Coach McKinley's got their eyes on a divisional title and a top 3 seed to host a playoff game within the A bracket. Plenty of good teams in Class A. And a big matchup on our network will be tomorrow as Clarence takes on Jamestown at 7 o'clock. We'll have that one here on Western New York Athletics. Could determine a lot of seeding. Clarence wins, they win the division.
Yeah, a lot of parity in Class A, I think, this year. I don't know if any. I know certainly Jamestown is, a strong team, but South Park and McKinley certainly. A lot of teams are pretty close there. Should be an interesting playoff to see how that shakes out.
Well, we'll take a couple weeks off, Coach. Excited for a break?
I don't know if I'll do myself on Thursdays.
These next couple weeks, there's
probably go to bed.
No Thursday night action. We assume our viewers will do the same in their homes. At least I hope you get some sleep, folks. Next week is the first week of playoff football in Western New York. Unfortunately, we won't have games on our networks, as at this point it's on the NFHS network until we reach the stadium, as Nico Lewis will get a touchdown run of his own, his second on the day, extending the lead for the Macs. A 29-yard run.
Yeah, whoever contends with McKinley moving forward needs to start run first, I think, and really spend some time during their week preparing for that run game, because all the success we've seen, even though they have some moderate success passing the ball, when they are running the ball, they're at their best, and whoever's going to have to contend with them moving forward is going to have to plan for that.
Well, in the first half, it was a turnover on downs, back-to-back punts, and another turnover on downs that had them scoreless at the break. Since then, 4 drives, 4 touchdowns for the McKinley Macs as they look to add on another 2 with Adunye up the left side. Putting on the brakes, facing juniors not fooled. 30-14 is the score with 4:18 to go in the fourth quarter. It's just confusing what flipped at halftime. We mentioned McKinley stuck to the run in the second half, but they weren't able to get much of that going in the first half. What changed from the defense of Williamsville East?
I don't know. I think the biggest change might be that Coach Davis got after his guys about playing disciplined football. As he said, he seemed a little annoyed at the halftime interview that they were taking penalties and they weren't, being disciplined. And I'm sure that was a topic of conversation at halftime. And they came out a different team. They came out running the ball. They came out being physical, and they took over because of it. And I don't think much defensively changed for Williamsville East other than McKinley taking it to him up front.
A 16-point game where McKinley is moving and grooving. Zayon Anderson, number 54 in black, orange, and pink. Jamming out to a little biggie here at Charlie Ding Boom Field. Why not?
He's feeling it.
It'll be a good night of partying for the 8-2 divisional champs for the McKinley Macs. Though I'm sure they'll go right back to work tomorrow and look to their first playoff matchup next week. No clue who that will be, as the first game of Week 8 happens here on Thursday. Hits the up man on the front line of the kick return team for Williamsville East, able to down it. Tyler Wise, the junior, one of many juniors for Williamsville East that head coach Mike Torillo is excited to see the future of. He said the depth of this team, like he's never seen in his 7 years at Williamsville East, comes in the junior class, and then even more down the line on the JV team. It's mostly freshmen down there as well that are leading the way for that program. So the future is still bright for Williamsville East, and a season that has flipped the script for them as a program, getting 5 wins and starting the season 5-0. It's much different from the previous 6 seasons that Mike Torillo has had, though they still won't make the playoffs. Still a good year for Will East.
Yeah, Kulik's coming back as a junior, and I know, losing Faison and losing Sansone is a big blow to them, but the running backs are both juniors. They'll be back, and You have a lineman, a sophomore starting lineman, who's a player, and Ramadan, and like you said, they have a JV team program that's having success, and I think you build it around Kulik. Kulik showed some poise today, and he showed an arm, and I think all in all, like we said earlier, losing your quarterback, I don't care who you are, you lose your quarterback, and you're gonna struggle.
Especially later on in the season, where Kulik didn't take any reps at quarterback until last week Monday, where he knew he would be the starter going in against Touch Tech.
Right, and they held him up. Yeah, back judge saw it. We'll get a penalty here and hold. Bigger question, Jack, is what are our loyal viewers going to do next week on a Thursday night? There are tens and tens of viewers.
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I guess they could meet us out somewhere for drinks if they really need their fill of Cruiser and Fat on Thursday nights. Perhaps a meet and greet is due at some point this offseason.
Our loyal viewers.
But before this season's over, Coach, we've got a couple more games of our own. Flash ahead to November. The 10th and 11th will be back here on Western New York Athletics. The 10th at 9 p.m., the Class A Sectional Championship game. If you're a McKinley Max fan and you're still tuned in to this one, mark your calendars now in hopes that your team will be at Highmark Stadium on November 10th, as the readjustment from Faison Jr. may have saved an interception for his junior quarterback.
Yeah,
or make that Connor Dryevsky there.
Yeah, kind of desperation time for Williamsville East. They have to attack, but McKinley knows that as well, and they're hanging back there waiting for those deep passes.
So we're at the stadium Thursday the 10th for the Class A game that was originally set for an 8 o'clock start. The Buffalo Bills contact Section 6 and say, hey, by the way, we need practice to go an hour later that Thursday, moving all of the playoff championship games back an hour. Now a 9 o'clock start on that Thursday as Kulik gets taken down. Shamonte Griffin cleans up the sack after Rayshawn Riley got in there first. Friday then at 5 p.m. on the 11th on Veterans Day, we'll be at Highmark again for the Class B championship. That'll wrap up our football in Western New York until the state championship games.
Yeah, I mean, it went quick, or at least as an announcer it went quickly, But looking forward to those playoff games because, as you said, maybe McKinley will be there, and we got a lot of good Class A teams. We've seen a few of them this year. It'll be interesting to see how those shake out because I think they're pretty close, a lot of those teams.
South Park, notably 5-0 in league play in A3. They take on Western New York Maritime, currently 4-1 tomorrow night. That game, a battle of the top two teams in A3, will determine most of the higher seeding in the Class A bracket. The other game, obviously, Jamestown and Clarence. The other that will do the same in the A1 bracket, though teams that have all but locked up a playoff spot, Williamsville North, Kenmore West, and West Seneca West, they'll be battling in terms of point differential for a playoff spot with teams like Western New York Maritime if they're not able to beat South Park tomorrow. Over the middle, Faison Jr. has it tipped off his hands on 4th and long. That's a turnover on downs and a series of tough drives for the Flames. After scoring on their last drive, they have not been able to convert here in the 4th. 9 drives, 2 scores compared to 8 drives and 4 scores to McKinley. That's your story. At least in terms of the second half, McKinley's 4 for 4 in getting in the end zone, a good reason why they are up 16. 1st and 10 for the McKinley offense. You can expect them to keep it on the ground and run down the clock here at Charlie Ding Boom Field at Riverside High School. If you've joined us all season, thanks. Appreciate your viewership and joining us on Western New York Athletics each and every Thursday night. It's been a fun ride with you, Coach Fed. I feel like I've learned a lot of football so far this season, a lot of X's and O's I got a better grasp of, especially on a lineman standpoint.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a learning curve for me being up here, but it's been fun. The playoffs are going to be even more fun. It's interesting how the weather changes during a season. And everyone was in shorts to start down there, and then
now it's just Francis.
Yeah, he's the only one. I don't know what his deal is, but
Francis and the cheerleaders in the shorts and skirts down on the sidelines. That's Francis in the shorts.
Yeah, Francis is trademark shorts, and I don't know. Does that last all year regardless, or I don't know if that's his trademark or not, but he makes me cold just looking at him.
We started off the year with some hefty drives, though we've ended it rather locally to our home base, going all High Stadium a couple times, and now here at Riverside a couple times. Glad to keep it local, and now the most we'll have to drive is to Syracuse for the state championship games that, boy, I'm pumped to get back in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, I hope some Section 6 teams make it there. That'd be nice to go there and see them represent our section, and I'm sure that'll be there before we know it as well. But really looking for those section championship games, as those are, a special occasion for players to get to play on that field and compete there, and that's something you certainly never forget as a player, as a kid. Being able to do that is something special.
7 straight divisional titles at one point at Cheektowaga. Is that, you had to have more than that total, right? 9 or 10 divisional championships at Central.
No, I don't even know.
Put you on the spot, but regardless, you've got experience in winning your division and setting yourself up for a good playoff run, at least on your own home turf, for these McKinley Macs, who will win their division here today with a 5-1 record in league play. How much does that win of the division help you in the postseason?
Well, it really depends on who you match up against and how it falls. Sometimes it actually hurts you depending on how the playoffs fall. In terms of the teams you play, but the playoff to these teams is going to be a kind of a reset and a refocus, and it's an exciting time when you're in the playoffs, and try to never take that for granted, because the years you're not, it's a different feel. So I know those kids down there are excited to go in the playoffs and kind of reset their season, as I said, and reach for it, because in a couple weeks they have an opportunity to play where the Bills play, right? And again, that's something that a kid never forgets.
Perhaps a bit more special to play at the home of the Bills in the current era rather than in your stretch as head coach in the high school era.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a factor. I mean, running down that tunnel as a kid, I always try to take a step back and watch them enjoy that, because it's something that, regardless of the success of the Bills, it's something that's cool for them. And, again, it's something that they'll cherish.
Well, 1:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. A timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. Our final timeout on the day with just under 2 minutes to go. We'll wrap up things from Charlie Ding Boom Field after this on Western New York Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Back from break, some off-camera discussions about potential matchups in Class A. Jamestown currently undefeated in A1, 4-0 overall record, as a big run is put on here in the late stages by Nico Lewis had a big game against Sweet Home a couple weeks ago. He's had a tremendous one here so far today with 2 touchdowns. He almost had his third there. Just under 90 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. A 2-score lead for the McKinley Macs. They'll look to make it 3, though at this point their point differential could play a factor in the A playoff brackets. They're the lowest scoring in terms of total adjusted differential amongst all the A schools, though this late touchdown will surely help them there. Nico Lewis adds his 3rd score on the game and extends the lead for the McKinley Macs by 6.
As Lewis scored there, Coach Davis just got the Gatorade treatment. It might feel good to be appreciated by his players, but I know it also feels cold.
You've had a couple of those showers as well, but most have come in those latter stages of the season. you have to wish it sometimes it was a bit warmer out for those Gatorade showers, but you don't feel it in the moment, right, when you win this game.
Oh, you feel it, man.
Well, they got a hot locker room to get to after this one here at Riverside High School. Ty Hughes walks it in for the 2-point conversion.
Good for Coach Davis. I know he's worked his butt off trying to get this program where he wants it. You know, that's I'm excited for them because it's a lot of hard work goes into what they just accomplished.
Especially being down 8-0, 40 points here, all in the second half on 5 straight drives, all ending in the end zone here in half number 2. McKinley has been dominant since that half in what looked like could have been a Will East stunning of the Max at halftime. Up 8-0. They try the onside kick. Boy, how crucial that one onside kick was. If the Flames were able to recover and go up 2 scores maybe, a different contest altogether, as the McKinley Max haven't thrown a pass this second half.
Yeah, they haven't had to, so why should they, right? I mean, maybe down the road in the playoffs they're going to have to be able to throw the ball a little more efficiently than they have, but not tonight. And really, the 2 games that I've seen out of them, they haven't had to do that in either. But, you got to think that down the road they play a team, for example, of South Park that throws the ball so well and can score so quickly. They're going to maybe need that passing game to be a little more efficient than it has been. But, nonetheless, tonight's an exciting night for them. They won their division, and congratulations to Coach Davis and the kids.
1:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. It's been too much scoring to go back and recap it all, though the game started off with Williamsville East going up quick. In the second quarter, they went up by 1 score after a Dorian Faison touchdown. Well, he had the second touchdown on the day, but it was 1 touchdown for Tom Orsini that started things off. Dorian Faison had the second for Williamsville East. For McKinley, 3 scores for Nico Lewis. A rushing touchdown for Azari Adunye, a 60-yard kickoff return for Nigel McDuffie. All big plays for the Max as they have been able to convert on all 5 drives here in half number 2. 40-14 they currently lead with 62 seconds to go. Will East with a drive for the future in Western New York and at Williamsville East. They look to have a final drive here to build off of for next season, whether their quarterback will remain Calvin Kulik or not. I hear they've got a good quarterback in the system on the JV squad, currently a sophomore. He doesn't get the call up here today. They give the reins to the wide receiver turned quarterback Kulik. It had him up at halftime. However, the run game of McKinley has dominated the storylines in half number 2. As the final minute will tick away here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the playoffs shake out. I don't think any of the A's will be set until they all play tomorrow. This is the Thursday game that's kind of getting ahead of the schedule there. But a lot of key matchups, as you said earlier, in the A's tomorrow. We have Jamestown Clarence. And I think that's going to set up a lot of tiebreakers. They'll have to run down. And I know Francis is on top of that stuff.
Oh, he is. Trust me. The insomnia is not keeping Francis Beck from completing all the playoff brackets. And speaking of which, you can figure out all of the brackets on Saturday on our networks as Francis and Tom and company will have the biggest playoff high school football show in Western New York as the McKinley Max walk away with a 40-14 victory over Williamsville East, claiming the A2 divisional title. They'll have a top 3 seed in the Class A playoff bracket, all searching a berth to Highmark Stadium at a sectional championship matchup. Stay tuned to our social channels for interviews with the players of tonight's contest from Charlie Ding Boom Field, both from the McKinley Max. We'll look to see Francis Beck with those later on this afternoon, or this weekend rather. One game tomorrow, Clarence and Jamestown, as you mentioned, Coach, is on our network at 7 p.m. We'll look to tune into that one, but as far as us and our broadcast crew goes, it's been a fun 8 weeks.
It has. Learned a lot. I'm appreciative of your work ethic and what you bring, and it's really amazing. And it's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you in the section championship games.
Yes, sir. Excited for those on the 10th and 11th of November. Mark your calendars. It's a Thursday and a Friday from Highmark Stadium. Until then, folks, for our entire crew at Charlie Ding Boom Field, Russ Battaglia on the game camera, Pat Schwab down on the field on camera, Tim Gardner producing, our third sideline reporter, Francis Beck. For Mike Fata, I'm Jack Cruiser. Till the sectional championship games, folks, I bid you adieu.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.